Hey, good evening, everybody, man. It's another episode of Because I Feel Like a Podcast, man. It's myself, Marcus, Artie, Nelson. Um, got a lot to talk about. Some of y'all saw the caption on Twitter, yapping into the void. That's what we're gonna do, but it's gonna be factual content and our opinions on what's been going on in the league over the last week or so. What's been going on, fellas?
Man, nothing. Just sitting here. Weird week of football in general. Thursday game, Friday game. Happy late Thanksgiving to everybody. But
Yeah,
yeah, we here. We here.
yeah, and obviously, what's going on, Nelson?
Oh, nothing, man. Just it's busy around this time, especially being a councilman, doing things outside of here. We got a lot of events coming up, but being a dad, going to work, trying to lay low a little bit.
So, where do we start, man? What do y'all want to start with?
Then we dive right into it. Let's start in Pittsburgh. 6-6, tied for the AFC North with the Ravens, who they play this Sunday. That's a big game for both teams. We could talk about both teams. I'd actually want to talk about the Ravens first before we get into the Mike Tomlin situation. And where do you think? I mean, they're in first place now. They lost to Cincinnati, obviously on Thursday. Pretty
Right.
bad loss too. Whoever comes out the AFC North is probably going to lose first round. I would say that's the most likely thing to happen. So
Yeah,
this division doesn't really matter. But in terms of these two spots, coaching wise, let's start. I guess we can start with the Ravens. If they don't make the playoffs, Harbaugh, that's it, right? Like that's what I would think. I
I
would
don't
think the same
know.
for the Steelers.
I don't. The thing is, though, the conditions of the teams, right, and what led to it. You could you could say for Harbaugh that a lot of what happened to him in the beginning of the year was due to injuries, right? And then right when he thought he was getting healthy, Lamar went down, right? So he has sort of a built-in excuse for the first 6 to 7 games. Just on defense alone. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? With Mike T, man, um, I just don't think he is. I don't think he has those excuses built in because of the trades they made for one. Two, when that defense was getting its back kicked in, they were all there,
Yep.
all of them. TJ, they at the time you just see they released Slay.
Slay, yeah.
They have they've pretty much you see Jalen, playing more as a box safety than he is as a corner. You know what I'm saying? You traded for DK, you know what I mean, and you traded away Pickens, and you see what he's doing in Dallas. So and then you didn't have to trade him.
And then you just pick up Adam Thielen because you're looking for a wide receiver.
Right. And you didn't have to trade George. You didn't. There was no reason to have to. He was on his what was he on his final year of his contract? I
Yep.
believe. Yeah, there was no reason to trade him. You could have, in fact, franchised him. You know what I'm saying? And you brought in Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? There was literally no excuse for them to be what? They're 6-6 now or 6-5?
Yeah, 6-6 started, I believe, 4-1, and with the Ravens,
Right.
the opposite. Started
Yeah.
1-5, hurt, 5-game winning streak, and then
Right.
obviously that ended this past
You know what I'm saying? That's why I say there's more of a cushion for Harbaugh because of the recovery than it would be for Tomlin for the decline. Because this decline has happened with them every year. And if you can look over the last 10 years, this has been their pattern. Start out decent, and then fall off, just like they did last year with Russ. They started out great early on. They got to the end of the year, and they got kicked in the back repeatedly. And this has been with every year. And now you can say you can give them grace in a couple of years. They had to play with Duck Hodges or Mason Rudolph, but even still, bro, his background is on the defensive side. And that is where he's taking the most of the hits on a healthy defense that just can't stop anybody. And at the end of the day, you can point at the DC, or you could point at somebody else, the linebacker coach. Nah, bro, he's out of excuses at this point. He's out of. There's no one else to fire. There's no one else to bring in, bro. This is what you have.
Right, and there is a scenario. Obviously, they play the Ravens this week. They play the Ravens in the last week of the season.
Man,
football is crazy.
Yes,
sports are crazy.
Yes,
they win those two games. That would make the Cincinnati basically have to run the table to outdo them. They don't play Cincinnati again. They went 1-1 against Cincy. If they do get into the playoffs as the AFC champion, or let's put it this way, I think the most embarrassing thing would be Cincinnati for both teams. Cincinnati make it in as the AFC North champion.
Yeah.
That right there, I think would maybe draw the line for both. That's why I was looking at it from a standpoint of if Cincinnati got in over both of these teams. Very unlikely, but if it does happen, does that?
I think they both will be going if that ever happened.
And I know Joe Burrow was hurt too.
Right.
But let's not make it seem as if also Stefanski, and then what's the coach's name in Cincinnati?
I'm tired of him too, man.
And then the coach in Cincinnati, I can't think of his name right now. All four of them might be on a hot seat right now.
And then the massage king is eligible to come off of the PUP now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what do you do with that? Are you going to? I mean, you talk about yapping into the void. The Browns are playing into the void. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm tired. I'm tired of Stefanski. I'm tired of the owner. You know what I mean? Like I feel bad for Cleveland fans because they don't deserve that. You know what I mean? Like why would you even announce that? Why would you just not automatically put that man on season-ending IR? You know he's not going to play. And even if you do play him, what exactly do you think you're going to gain from it? You know what I'm saying? What he showed you on the field when he did play and was healthy was trash. So now you're gonna tell me you're gonna bring back a guy that is not necessarily a cancer in your community, but reality is reality. Perception is the reality of what he did. And then you're already in losing environment. What is the message you're sending to your locker room? A bunch of younger guys. What's the message you sending to Shedeur? Even Dylan Gabriel. What is the message? What is the message to Myles Garrett? What is the message to your fan base, the city overall, to women? What good do you get even mentioning him anymore?
The fact that they're still paying him, so I guess making him irrelevant.
Isn't that even worth mentioning though?
No, I mean it's not. But your future is in Shedeur Sanders. I will focus on him,
right,
at all costs. Because
which leads to the point: why not just put him on season-ending IR?
Yeah, and the AFC North was really a division, I would say, not too long ago, where it's just like always an intense game,
right?
Hard-hitting football. It seems lost. And I guess before we leave this division, since we did bring up Shedeur Sanders, Jerry Jeudy.
He needs to shut up. That's just my opinion.
Weird energy.
Yeah,
weird energy.
Nasty.
Very, very weird energy, especially for a guy that is getting open, dropping passes.
Yeah.
Not blocking, running with the ball like this and getting it hit out because you have no idea where the defenders are. It's
It's
a little weird.
The optics didn't look right.
You know what it looks like? He's like that student in class that want to give the answer that somebody other answers gave. So he's like, I want to rephrase it like this to make it seem like I know what I'm talking about, but he really don't know what he's talking about. So he's like that kid that needs attention, and he's trying to show up Shedeur, which was not even necessary for what he did on the sideline.
Because my issue with it is that that was Shedeur's second start, right? What good did you gain? What did you gain from doing that? You know what I mean? Like, those are things you could have sat. You could have just sat right next to him and had that conversation, and nobody, no camera would have even picked that up. Just y'all sitting there talking. You could have kneeled down. You could have knelt down and just sat there with him and talked. This is what I saw. This is what I, you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm getting. You know what I mean? Like anything. But to be like bam, 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 it's like, bro, the optics, pay attention. You know what I'm saying? You understand what's already going on with Shedeur, what he's enduring throughout the year. And then you being on top of him, pointing down, not necessary, because we don't know the whole story. So I'm not going to sit there and like really, really kick his back in. But I will say you need to pay attention to your surroundings. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a life lesson.
And Shedeur Sanders isn't the first quarterback that's ever overthrown Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
So,
really? Yeah.
Can I say this one thing about the Steelers? You know, I don't know if you all agree with this, but they look old. They look ancient. Like, you can just tell it's like they don't have nothing left. It's like they're on their wits end. And I think Aaron Rodgers has a good sell pitch. Like, Mike Tomlin must have bought into the juice that he was selling, because, you know, you can see now the man was almost 42, almost 43, and he's just, you know, he got maybe a leg left to stand on, and that nose you pretty much can't smell of that. You know, he's beat up, man.
But the thing with the Steelers, it's not even necessarily the age, right? Because people play longer in their careers. I don't even think it's the age. I just think you got mismatched pieces.
Yes,
that is the issue. And shout out to he was number 92, James
Harrison.
James Harrison. I heard him say it. Shout out to him. And then I re-looked at everything again. Just watched. I watched that actually game. Watched the game after he said it. And yes, it is a fact. They have a lot of mismatched pieces there. They do. Like, Ramsey was really, he could play man, right? But, you know, and then you had Slay, who played predominantly man, but he's also getting older. However, and then your guys up front, like the alignment, the linebackers, they're supposed to be in a 3-4, right? And that's traditionally what the Steelers play. But when your linemen, your three technique linemen are already in the lap of your linebackers, they can't go hunt, right? Which means, guess what? At that point, you're getting gashed in the run. So guess who has to come up? Your safeties. And guess who's if they have to come up, guess who's in the all-out sprint now? Your 34-year-old cornerbacks,
right,
getting beat.
So Buffalo Bills ran the same play 29 times in four different ways, and they gashed them. Okay,
right, but it wasn't because they were old.
It was the backside. You know, it was wide open. They double team up to the backer, and then the corner came down with the receiver blocking him off, and then now he's on the third level, Cook. So
yeah, and it was like, I don't know how many he ended with, but it seemed like Joey Porter Jr. was making every tackle.
Right.
For the Steelers.
It wasn't because they were old. It's because they just have they have names, but they're not the right pieces. They're good in different. They would be good in a different defense, but the defense they have them playing in, they're just not right for that defense.
You trade Minka Fitzpatrick for
Right.
Jalen Ramsey. You look for a safety all year. You get Kyle Duggar. You waive Slade because you brought in Asante Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they don't really know what they're doing.
Right. They don't have the right piece. It's not that they're old. They just have mismatched pieces.
And Adam Thielen's going to retire after this. So
again, because they traded George Pickens, mismatched pieces.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. And then speaking on, I want to get Nelson's take here. Do you think the Bills? I mean, obviously the Steelers were a good team to do this against on Sunday, but do you think the Bills continue to run the ball as much as they did on Sunday? Because that was good.
I think they need to. I think they found something they can hang their hat on. Now it's the Steelers. You know, like you said, a 3-4 front. You know, most defenses play a 4-man front. And next team they're going to play, you know, they got the Eagles, they got the Bengals, they got the Patriots, and I think they got the Jets. So, you know, it's going to be tough. You know, they got a chance to have momentum going into the playoffs with the run game. But I know they're going to lean on Josh Allen because, you know, he got the rushing record. Now and that's the ironic thing about it. Even though he's a passer, he got the rushing record. He beat Cam Newton. So, you know, I would say go with what works, man. I think you go keep running the ball. I've been harping that for the last 2 weeks. Run the ball, and they finally got it. But you know that's different when you get down to a 4-man front. Yeah, and you get a blitzing team.
But what the problem is? What when someone stops the run, what do you go to?
I mean,
that's about it.
We got the passing game. We do. We can pick apart any defense. It's just execution.
Okay, so my question to you on that is what passing game?
Yeah,
because
I mean, we got running back. I mean, wide receiver by committee. I get you. We got tight ends that are healthy or not healthy. You know, we got a deep threading game, but other than that, you know, it's pretty tough. But we always find a way to dissect the defense. Because there's no problem scoring. It's just sporadically and I hate to say this, when Josh Allen gets pressure from different angles, he panics a little bit. I mean, we've seen it. He's throwing interceptions, especially when things don't go his way. He gets a little rattled, or the ball's coming out too hot, too fast. You see it every time. So I think Joe Brady has to make that adjustment and slow him down just a little bit. Then he'll be fine.
Because I think this is. I mean, I'll let you go after this. Or this is what I see with Josh. And I think we've had this discussion before. Josh's problem is what he's comfortable with. Is really the problem. And what I mean by that is he's not comfortable having a number one receiver. He's not. Right? He's not comfortable having to he's not comfortable with another strong personality in the room that knows what they're doing in regards to the receiving core, right? Because he's had a couple of number one receivers there, and he had a good number two that was there, but then he got shipped off. And you have to, I think at some point in time, you have to look within, right? Because even then, when you shipped off Diggs, you shipped off Gabe Davis, you shipped off Amari Cooper, you were left with Kincaid and what's the other one? And Knox, right? So you got what you wanted, right? A more Josh Allen-centric offense. But then you forgot about the running back. Right, that's what killed them last year. That's what got them sent home early last year, is because they forgot about James Cook.
And I was thinking about that too. Watching the game, was like, they almost didn't pay this guy.
Yeah.
They almost didn't pay this guy. And Gabe Davis, he's back too.
He's back.
But I was like, man, they almost didn't pay this guy, because the first half was, I'm sure for you as a Buffalo, it was miserable. I mean, even just watching it as a neutral fan, 7-3, it was it was awful.
And the turnovers, I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just threw me off, man. Like sometimes we look like the greatest team in the world, and the next minute we look like the worst team in the world. It's like a toss-up.
I think with him, at some point in time, he is going to have to, whatever the mental block is, and I'm not saying he's stupid or anything like that. I'm not saying that. Whatever that ego part of him is that can't deal with it, he is going to have to show some sort of humility in that process, because you are only as good as the sum of the parts around the sum, SUM, the sum of the parts around you, because you cannot do it all yourself, right? You're going to need your tight end. You're going to need your running back. You're going to need your receivers. You may need a better receiver than the ones you have, which means you're going to have to swallow your pride and ego in order to complete the assignment. Because he's what, in year 7 now? He's in year 7. All right, bro.
Yeah.
And then you've, outside of Pat, you've had a free run of this in the NFC East or AFC East, I'm sorry, since Brady left.
And not only that, if Houston beat the Chiefs this weekend, then the Chiefs go to the Chargers, and if they lose those 2 games, this is as wide open as it's going to get this year.
Right.
I would feel. So this really is your opportunity. Same thing with Lamar. This is your opportunity. You can't, as much as I'd like you to, because I'm a big fan, you can't lose out to Aaron Rodgers this year. You can't lose that spot for both of those guys to have this opportunity. Does Denver have an offense week to week? The Patriots look good, but you only play your schedule, but they're not playing really great teams. Obviously, they did beat the Bills by 3 earlier in the season, but this is wide open. This is the year for, if we're going to make it, okay, the quarterback's going to get you there. Lamar, Josh, even CJ Stroud, who's there looking in. Justin Herbert's there looking in there right now. Trevor Lawrence is there right now. Are you going to let Bo Nix and Drake May get in your way? These guys here that we're talking about. This year, it's Bo Nix and Drake May. There might not be a Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
So this is your year. To make, not any specific person, but all that whole group of elite or almost elite quarterbacks. This is your year to break through. There is no more, oh well, we lost to Pat. We lost an Arrowhead. That's not the case this year. It's probably not going to happen.
What's the excuse?
Yeah, and then what happened to the Colts? So everybody was on that bandwagon.
We're not going to let you get off. No.
I'm just saying, like they were running up the score.
We understood what. See, the thing is though, I'll let you pivot I'll let this pivot, but we're going to circle it back around. It's going to boomerang back around.
Oh, we can talk about it now. We can talk about let's keep talking about it.
The thing is though, we knew what the risk and rewards were for the Colts because of who their quarterback was.
Mm-hmm.
Because we understood this because of his injury situation. We understood because of the quarterback he was. There was a ceiling. The ceiling is high, but the bottom is low.
And with the broken, what does he have? A broken fibula?
Right, exactly. Yeah. So we understood what that was. So I think people were not really more surprised because of how they started off and because how they were utilizing Jonathan Taylor. But teams now have adjusted to that.
Mm-hmm.
And now guess what? It falls back on the quarterback. And again, where did we say this? The ceiling, the difference in the ceiling was the quarterback, the highs and the lows. You know what I'm saying? So where the Colts are right now isn't surprising to people either. That's why you don't really see the media or people who actually watch the games crushing them.
For that, I would say before the season, if we told you after 12 games the Colts are 8-4, you would probably call me a liar.
Right. Yeah.
Same for the Jaguars.
Yeah, same thing for the Jaguars. Same thing if we told you, hey, Houston Texans are going to start 0-4. What they start, and then be back in it at 7-5. Yeah, be back in it at 7-5, and like I said, have a chance to beat the Chiefs this weekend and take that next step. It's as wide open as it gets.
No, I agree with you. Josh Allen has no excuse. He was MVP last year. He's coming in this year. The ceiling is way above. Now, Super Bowl. You got to get to the Super Bowl. And, as a team, we barely hanging on. We can't flip-flop. We can't be good and then bad, because
McDermott is another one that gets too many passes, but that's a whole story for another day.
Yeah, because people get hot in December and lead into the play. I mean, you gotta win in November, December.
McDermott has been there through a lot of failures, a lot of early exits in the playoffs.
But because of our division, we always end up winning towards the end of our season,
right?
Because we play the lowly temes,
But why does McDermott not get okay? And so we talked about Tomlin, we talked about Harbaugh, we talked about Zach Taylor, right?
No,
in Cincinnati. Why the hell is Sean McDermott getting so many passes? What has he won in the playoffs?
Right. No, he should be on the hot seat too. I said that before. I said, man, it's not a panic button, but I'm hovering around it. Like, come on, if we don't start winning, and getting over the hump,
because he's been given everything that he's needed at every position. At some point in time, he's had everything you've needed to win, and he has not yet won at least win a AFC championship.
Yeah,
and that's why I say that's why when we started the show, I was talking about it's just the context of the situation this year, right, that helps heighten the hot seat for some of the coaches, whether that be Pat not in the playoffs or the Bills have the MVP, and we got the second-year quarterback in New England with their obviously Vrabel's coach before, but with the first-year coach on that team in that system. And you might lose the division for the first time in a while. And then, in Pittsburgh, how are you going to lose out when Burrow's out for more than half the season? Lamar's out for 4 weeks or whatever it was. There's just so many things that are contextual this year that were excuses in years past for all of these teams, for all of these quarterbacks.
You can't use them, and you can't use them any. And that's the part we're saying, Artie. They can't use these excuses anymore because everything is so wide open. If you don't get there this year with the slate of quarterbacks you have in the AFC, right? Because there's a potential right now. There's a good 60% chance that Pat won't be there. There's a possibility that Lamar won't even be there. You see what I'm saying? Depending on what's going on with Herbert's hand, there's a possibility that they may not be there, right? This is the most wide open the AFC has been. And if you don't get there this year, I don't know when you'll get there.
As great as that defense is, I don't think you can go to Denver and lose to Bo Nix and escape.
No.
I don't think you can.
And right now, I think if there was a Denver-Buffalo playoff game, I'm picking Denver.
Well, no, it would be a toss-up, man. Like we're thin.
Absolutely.
But also, hey, last year in the first round, we had that same matchup in Buffalo, and it was a blowout.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, like, the change that a year makes, and not much change in either of those two teams.
Because if you had to pick right now, Buffalo's defense, Denver's defense, who's the better defense?
Denver.
Right.
Denver's the better defense. And that's the difference between this year and last year. What travels? Offense may not always travel. I hear you. It's just we got a top 10 offense. It's just that we don't match it up.
I would say the only thing that I'm picking on Buffalo over Denver is the quarterback, the running back, and maybe the tight end situation. Even though Evan Ingram, he looks good for Denver, the tight end situation, and that's why I'm saying it's going to be unfortunately, in some aspects, but it's going to be up to Josh Allen and James Cook and the coaching staff to win those games. You play in a climate that tells you to run the ball.
Exactly.
Run the ball.
I've been preaching that. Run the ball. Like inclement weather, like snow is a running back's dream. Rain is a running back's dream because everybody slips in front of you. And then the way Cook moves and he cuts backside, that's perfect.
But one thing is for sure, the way it's looking right now, that game, regardless of where it happens, won't happen in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We don't have the home field advantage. No.
And that's why, and that's another reason why I would side with Denver. I would, you know what I mean? Because when Josh has won, he's won at home. He's never won. Has he? I don't think he's won a playoff game on the road.
Yeah, he did. Miami.
Yeah, that's Miami.
Yep, you beat Miami. He won.
That's Miami. That's the thing. That's Miami.
Yeah,
I would say
playoffs.
I would say I would. Somebody asked me that the other day. Who do I think is coming out the AFC? And I said New England looks very solid, but I feel like Josh Allen is going to find a way to squeak through. And I don't normally have faith in him, but I just think it has to be their year. I hope not. I'm not a big Bills fan by any means, but I just feel like they have to.
This has hurt me to say this, but Mike Vrabel should get coach of the year for the Patriots. He should. Like, he made them boys believe in exactly what they're doing. They're executing. They're winning games. Stephon Diggs has got a whole different outlook when it comes to playing receiver. I don't know whether it's Carter B or not, but I
got a question. Did Josh and them lose? Did Josh was? No, I take that back. That was the Falcons they lost to. I thought I was thinking about the Texans. I don't know why I was thinking about the Texans, but
yeah,
that's a team right now. That's another team that I don't think none of them want to play.
No,
I don't think any of them want to. Josh, name them. I don't think any of them want to play a Texans team. This one right now. No,
that defense is superb, man.
No,
like
their
defensive line is amazing, man, for the Texans.
To me, the top two defensive currently right now reside in Denver and Houston.
And I'm not going to put a bunch of confidence in Bo Nix figuring out, but if CJ can figure it out,
yeah,
with Nico and Dalton Schultz and the running game that they found with Chubb and Marks,
yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah,
and if you can imagine like your opening round game, if you were a Bo Nix or a who's out in the West.
But this would be the first time we can say that the Chiefs won't make the playoffs. Wouldn't that be something? How many years has it been?
Yeah, it'd be weird. You know what I mean? But they have to win out. For them to make it, they would have to literally win out now to get in.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's getting to that point.
Yeah, it's pretty much their playoffs started last week, to be honest with you. You know, but
and it doesn't get any easier going. Like I said, playing against Houston, playing against the Chargers we'll see what Herbert's looking like with the hand, and then. Like I said, last week they have the Titans and Raiders on the schedule, but besides that, they got Houston, Chargers, and Broncos.
Yep.
Yeah. They've lost to two of those teams, being the Chargers and the Broncos, and then Houston's playing magnificently. So on the defensive side, but I guess we could switch focus here. Probably go to the NFC unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about.
Yep, I'm good.
Rams lose to the Panthers.
Yeah.
Good.
Matthew Stafford, 3 turnovers.
Hey, he's human, right? Then that's the thing and that's the one thing that I don't particularly care for in regards to the media itself. They prop these guys up to where they make them these superhuman mythical beings. They're human. And you have to realize that there's humans playing them on the other side that have games, that have jobs. They have to show effort, and they have things they're playing for. The coaching staff is coaching for their jobs. You know what I'm saying? Why would so people disrespect that part of the game? Yes, we understand that as fans, or we always think, the other team is ass, right? We always think that. That's just innate, something innate as a fan. But there's still another element of the game where these people are getting paid. These people are spending countless hours training, planning, watching film, scheming plays on the offensive, defensive side. You got your special teams, coordinators and all that stuff. Shit happens, right? They have a job to do on the other side. And last week is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
The Panthers did a better job.
And I would say, too, I think it's a lesson learned. I mean, it's not just the Bills. It's not just any team you can single out here.
Right.
But 20 carries for 151 rushing yards by the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's another team that we have to look at and say, hey, you have to run the ball more. Like, you've got guys back there that can run it. You've got offensive linemen that are moving people. I mean, they played against Derek Brown, who's one of the best defensive tackles in the league, if not the best. Like, you're capable of this. Passing game's not working out too well. Stafford's having a bad day. Let's run the ball. We have two guys back there that can run it efficiently. And then I'll also say there's obviously no moral victories, and they can't get a win from this. Mm-hmm. But I think that's also another sign of a good or great team, no matter who the opponent is. If you turn the ball over 3 times, 2 of the times in scoring distance, in field goal range, and you didn't force any turnovers on the defensive side, and you lost by 3 and you still have a chance, I think that's a sign of a team that was always going to be in games. Even though, like, there's no moral victories, I think that's a sign of a team that will always be in games. So they're always going to be competitive. I mean, it's never going to be like the Rams are going to get blown out or something like that. That's not going to happen. But again, we, like, back to what Marcus said, we can't go week to week and say, well, you're not supposed to lose to this team. Who says who? The worst team in the league has a win this year. So, like, everybody most of the time wins at least one game. So
it's the same, mantra any given Sunday. But there are trap games. Like, did the Rams underestimate Carolina, going into this?
But here's the thing, right? I wouldn't even call it a trap game, right? It's no different than when the Eagles played the Giants. It's no different when the Eagles played the Cowboys the second time, right? Sometimes people just don't do some basic things, right? Sometimes coaches think they're smarter than what they really are. Sometimes teams lean on analytics too much instead of the human element of the game. Yeah. These are things that happen. That doesn't make the other team worse. The team just did their job. Because a lot of the times when good teams lose, they lose because a lot of the times because they think they are smarter than what they really are, right? I am going to it's a 3rd and 2. I am going to put an extra tackle out there, right? A tackle that hasn't played in 7 months. He has to come in, check into the game, and declare himself eligible, right, to be able to move. Tackle hasn't played a snap in 7 months. Play goes off, play action pass to Goddard. Matt Pryor jumps off, so he's covering up the tight end, which he shouldn't be. He should be away from the line. 5-yard penalty on a 3rd and 2. Goddard catches the ball for 20 yards, which goes into Dallas's territory and going to score, but it's taken back because of Matt Pryor's lack of attention to detail for that one play he's had in 7 months or 7 weeks. You see what I'm saying? Like, basic things. But again, the coach calling that play was stupid because all you needed to do was get 2 yards on the ground. Basic common sense things. You forget the human element of the game. because analytics are overruling human logic. You see what I'm
Or
saying?
it's like let's try this play now against this team. I
Right.
think we can get away with it.
There's no reason to, and there's no
that
reason
that
to.
that happens a lot too. I think
Yeah.
it's
Go
like,
forward.
oh, we can do this against the Raiders. We can do this, and sometimes you can't.
Or here's another example. The first time the Rams played the Eagles, right? They were running the ball down the Eagles' throats in that game, right? And guess what McVay started doing? When there was no reason to, he started getting cute with his stupid play action passes to Puka and all that stuff, right? When he could have just ran the ball out on 3rd and 1, didn't get anything. Then the kicker gets his kick block. Next thing you know, you turn around, it was 26-7 at one point in time because McVay kept trying to get cute with the plays. Next thing you know, he's down 34-29.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's how fast things change in the NFL.
He's also the coach that lost the game in overtime because he didn't want to kick a field goal on 4th down.
Yep.
And then obviously here on this Sunday. So that, I mean, not that it's going to take them away from the playoffs, but I think it just goes to show that, as Nelson said, any given Sunday, and it's sometimes maybe boring for some of these very good teams to just do the basic things that they need to do. It doesn't seem like even teams that are like 2-10, 3-9, they're bad teams, but they don't really mess themselves over by doing things that aren't very smart. They just mess themselves over because they're not very good. We don't really see that from bad teams, which is kind of funny to think about because those are the teams that, hey, maybe some of them are tanking, the New York Giants. Maybe you could do some of those things and run Jameis Winston out as a tight end because you are tanking, right?
Or the Saints, you got Kamara, you still can use him and utilize him on offense, like run screen plays,
Just keep it simple.
And they got nothing to lose. What they can mess up somebody's season.
And I just think one more topic I want to hit on because we did bring up the Bills, we brought up the Rams in this, and Marcus brought up analytics. Running the football usually 99% of the time has no negative impact besides losing it down. You don't really get tackled for more than maybe a 3-yard loss at most, but usually you're gaining yards.
Right.
Sometimes passing the football is very inefficient in that you get sacked for 10 yards or it's an incomplete pass.
Yep.
Why? I think this year especially, we've seen running the football just be more advantageous to teams. I think the Carolina Panthers ran it against the Rams 30-something times this week. And some people say, oh, that's boring. These quarterbacks aren't throwing for big numbers. The point is to win the game. Mm-hmm. Why do you guys think that we see some teams just – I get with the Bills, there's a Superman thing. With the Rams, there's a, hey, we want to make this guy MVP. And we get in these situations. But why doesn't every team in the league just – even if you can't run it well, running it really helps you.
Analytics.
I think what happened was offense changed. You don't have that back that's a workhorse, and then we developed something called RPO, and that's more sexy. That's not predictable. Instead of I'm gonna run the ball over the tackle, I'm gonna run the ball off the guard, I formation. That's not attractive anymore. It's let me send this guy in motion, let me get the linebacker to pull, and then let me go backside with the tight end slip. So it's like that has to be, an unpredictable element in that. So I'm gonna throw it on third and 5, and then when 4th and 1 comes, I'm gonna throw a pop pass. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, wow, I didn't see that coming. So I think that's what's part of it. But when you got the horses, man, when you got the line like Detroit has, like run the ball. Like it's okay when you got monsters in the backfield,
Because we don't really ever say, I mean, sometimes there's fumbles, but we don't ever sit here after a week and say, wow, they really lost the game because they ran the ball too much. Or that never really happens. And usually the teams that run the ball more seem to be winning the game or having more success during the parts of the game they run the ball. Again with the Bills, I think Josh Allen threw the ball 8 times in the second half, 9 times, and they ran the ball almost every play exclusively. Yeah. And they went from putting up 3 points. Obviously, the defense scored on the fumble recovery, but to having 26 at the end of the game and not giving anything up, running the clock. It's also another way to sustain a close game because you keep control of the clock.
Time management. Yeah, exactly.
But
go ahead.
It all goes back to analytics, man. Like everything y'all are saying, it still goes back to analytics. Yeah. Because people, I'm telling you, I'm just telling you, if you read it, if you just look up articles and read how these teams are heavily invested in analytics. The computerized version of scheming and how they can get an upper hand in certain plays, variables, percentages, all of that shit. In reality is the game is still a north and south game. It's still a human element to the game, like I said before. That is why you don't see a lot of people pass or running the ball, because they believe that they need to throw the ball to win, and winning and throwing brings them the most money, the most profitable results on and off the court, on and off the field, right? That's why they pay. That's why you see the quarterback salaries just skyrocketing. That's why you see receivers contracts skyrocketing. It's not because of any other reason. It's because of analytics.
But 3rd and 15, we got to run the ball to manage the field position.
Yeah,
but we can't manage the field position on 1st and 10.
Right. That's why you see. That's why you see such a discrepancy in everything that's going on, because that's not profitable to these guys.
To your point, Marcus, I was listening to the press conference with Joe Brady, and he said every game is analytical. There is a certain percentage we look at the defense. Well, we can score on this play, or a 3rd down conversion on that play, or a 1st down. They always look at that. And they do the study, they do the films. Like, okay, we had 56% on this down here against this front. And then the 4th down, we had 4th down conversions. We had, 75% on this play, right? Think about the tush push, right? What's the percentage of that, right? It's like what?
How do they know some of the percentages on these plays that they never done before?
Yes. I'm going to ask y'all a question. Explain why JJ McCarthy is starting in Minnesota and not Sam Bradford or even Daniel Jones. Why?
Because it's a percentage.
Analytics. That's why. Common sense, a human element, right? Just basic common sense. Your team goes 14-3 last year, 2024. Your Minnesota Vikings went 14-3, right? Yes. Darnold kind of switched, he glitched up at the end of the game, at the end of the season last year, right? But still, it's a 14-3 team. Nothing on that team changed. Nothing on defense or offense. Not one player, not one receiver, not one linebacker, not one defensive end, not one offensive tackle or defensive tackle. The only thing that changed was the quarterback. Analytics, money, projections, effort. Well, not really effort. Money, projections, player projections. Those are analytic things. And because they took the human element of it out, like we won, what does my star wide receiver need? Right? The human element of it, they went with projections. And now they're projected to keep their ass at home this year with a horrible record because they went with analytics.
Well, speaking of Sam Darnold, everybody's sleeping on Seattle. They're 9-3.
Hold on.
They're winning. But I hear what you're saying.
Let's stay right there. Think about that. Think about the common sense of that shit. People may not like Sam Darnold, but you were 14-3. Why as a GM or owner, because the owner had to sign off on what the GM thought about this or what the head coach thought about this. Why would you just ignore the human element of all of that to put a guy in that's never thrown a pass he's never been in live fire in a regular season game? Why?
I would say, you draft this guy first round. You don't want to have a quarterback battle because you drafted him for a reason. Yeah. But also, I thought they didn't really want to pay a quarterback $33 million. I thought they wanted to save money, but then Cam Bynum was gone too to Indianapolis, and he didn't get paid, and he didn't stay with Minnesota. So it's a weird situation. It feels like a rebuild when it didn't need to be, but it doesn't feel unintentional. It feels very intentional too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what they meant to do. They drafted him in the top 10.
And he hasn't thrown the last couple of games. Has he even thrown for 100 yards?
Yeah, and then he didn't play last week, and that was Matt Brosmer from where did he
Minnesota.
Go? Minnesota. He was from Minnesota, University of Minnesota. He threw 4 interceptions last week. Yeah. So they don't really.
They don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, they don't have an answer. I would say that the analytics do play a part, and I think that they help out in the podcast game. And unfortunately, the analytics say that this show is probably going to be better with just Marcus and Nelson for the rest of the time. But I got to get out of here. You guys don't forget to run the ball.
Yes.
We got you.
And I'll see you guys next week.
All right,
got you, man. All right. So yeah, with that being said, man, we switch to the topic that I've seen heavily on Twitter, the Hard Knocks. I don't know if you got to watch it yesterday. It was the first episode of Hard Knocks.
Who team is it? Because I didn't see it.
The NFC East. The NFC East. The whole entire NFC East. You had the Commanders, Giants, Eagles, Cowboys. The highlight of it for me wasn't even necessarily the football portion of it. It was the nasty ass shit that I saw that on in the Giants or not in the Giants, but the Cowboys the Thanksgiving game, right? When they played against what was it? They played against Kansas
Cowboys.
City.
Yeah.
So the Cowboys won the game. Props to them, good shit, whatever. So always at the end of the games they give out the turkey leg or whatever the shit.
Yeah.
So Dak has the turkey leg. They're in the locker room now. Dak obviously, because he has a turkey leg, takes a bite out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So then the fucking head coach comes around. He takes a bite out of the same fucking leg that Dak has in his fucking hand, right? And that's not even the nastiest fucking part. The part is this: he didn't even wash his fucking hands.
Oh.
Dak did. So he's been touching the center's ass all game, spitting on his hand because he wants to get the feeling of the football.
Yeah,
touching the ground, spitting in his hand, fucking touching the center's ass. You know what I'm saying? He's been on the fucking ground and he has his nasty fucking turkey leg in his hand. He eats it. The fucking head coach eats it, and then fucking here comes fucking 104-year-old fucking Jerry Jones coming. He takes a fucking bite out of the turkey. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like y'all are some nasty old motherfuckers, man. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like,
That's
what are you
hard.
doing? That is nasty.
That's like brotherly love in life.
That was the nastiest shit I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
ew. Like,
Yeah.
ew, man. I tweeted on the Twitter page. I was like, that's fucking nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But in the moment, do you think about it? Like,
I don't give a fuck what they're thinking about. That shit is nasty. You don't think about COVID fucking bacteria.
yeah,
This man's
germs.
been holding this nasty. This man's been holding his turkey leg in his nasty hands and shit. And then here comes your dumb ass fucking going over to eat off a fucking turkey leg that this motherfucker had already bitten off of, and then your 90-year-old fucking grandpa owner comes over and bites it too.
With his dentures.
Yeah, that's fucking nasty. And then Dak takes another fucking bite out of it, holding it. I'm like, you nasty motherfucker. I was like, y'all are nasty, man. But yeah, that's either there. But then the other parts of it, the Giants, the Giants are ass. They're like 2-11. That they weren't really a factor. The Commanders weren't really a factor. Then they got into obviously what was going on with the Eagles and all that shit. But it was kind of surprising to the local media that, Jalen Hurts is, he's a fucking leader, dumb motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, we didn't know he was vocal. Bitch, what are you talking about? Like, shut your dumb ass up. But I'm not gonna make this an Eagles fucking pod. I'll go do my own shit on that. Because these motherfuckers are fucking weird, man. They act like people can't be leaders, and they go gaslight everybody, and they only listen to the most racist parts of the fucking Eagles fan base that need that fucking content. That's what they barter to, but it's neither here or there, man. But so Hard Knocks wasn't necessarily bad, but it wasn't necessarily great either because it exposed a lot of shit. What it really did was prove that the Philly media, the part that is just negative and gaslights, that they were dead wrong about Hurts. But I'll get to that at another point. But yeah, man, it's going to be, it's going to be a stretch. This I'm looking forward to this next stretch of weeks in the NFL, man. I'm not worried about the Eagles. I think they'll be fine. I'm excited to see what the Cowboys are going to do, even though they're probably going to not make the playoffs. But it's good to see. I mean, look, man. Like, I didn't particularly care for George Pickens because of his attitude, but he's really made a fan out of me. He is an animal.
Yes,
he grows up just a little bit more. He's going to be, and that's going to come with age anyway, man. You know what I mean? So I think he's going to be tight. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm excited to see what these next couple of weeks bring to us. I think there's going to be a lot of surprises. What people think might happen may not happen. You know what I mean? Because the one thing that you do know is the most healthiest team that's around when it all starts is the one more than likely that'll be standing at the end.
Yeah.
And that's just a fact. That's been shown more over the last 10 years than anything else. So it's just I'm encouraged by a lot of things that I've seen this year, especially with these young quarterbacks, Bo and Drake May and these guys, man. With Dak, he's in year 10, but it's getting late. I'm keep saying it's getting late, bro. I mean, you don't fucking get in this year. What makes you fucking think it's gonna be any better, any easier next year? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could drop from this nice little streak they got quick.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, man. It's gonna be interesting. There's a lot more on the table that we're going to talk about, especially with myself, you, Artie, Marv, and AO. We got a lot to show, a lot to provide to y'all. AO on the thumbnails, man. Hey, if any of y'all need a thumbnail or any digital content, hey, reach out to Walk, man. I'll put his Twitter handle out there, which for y'all as well, man. He's a good dude, man. He does a lot of work for other teams. He actually does a lot of work in the Delaware high school circuit, for kids, committing to colleges and all that stuff, man. He's doing a lot of good work. So I want to make sure I plug him as well, man. And again, I'll put his IG and his Twitter out there as well, man. But I'm looking forward to this weekend's slate of games. Looking forward to continue to engage with folks on Twitter. I know you got it on IG. The Facebook page is still out there, and yeah, man, we'll probably be back next Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on our schedules. But everybody, appreciate who all was out there listening and watching.
Make sure you like and subscribe, baby.
Yeah. What he said, follow us on Twitter, because I feel like it. Like and subscribe to the IG page. Follow us on Facebook. We here. I'm always on Twitter, man. You know what I'm saying? We rocking. So everybody, man, appreciate you, Nelson, for being here, sticking in with us. I know Artie had to roll out. Marv working, AO, doing the security portion of this shit. You know what I'm saying? But we'll catch up with y'all later, man, and y'all have a good night.